Good evening, people of Facebook, people who are watching. Thank you so much for joining me. This is a live stream from me, Mr. Dan Walsh, and I'll be playing you Verging On The Perpendicular, which is the album I released in 2017. And I'll be playing it all the way through, from start to finish. It includes a few numbers that I play quite regularly, and quite a few that I really don't. So I'm looking forward to that. And thanks so much for joining me. I'm just going to... Yeah, I'm on 4G, thank you. Yeah, sorry, my girlfriend has a remarkable way of signalling at me as to where... Basically, our Wi-Fi here is horrendous. If you ever live in Shropshire, it's beautiful. It's a lovely county. Loads of great pubs that you can't go in at the moment. But loads of really nice stuff. But the Wi-Fi is shocking. But the 4G isn't, weirdly. But anyway, so we're on 4G, yes. So hopefully we won't get cut off or anything, which tends to happen when we're on Wi-Fi. And there's a few of you here already. Good evening. As usual, I've started the stream a few minutes early just to allow you all time to come here and have a drink. We've had a Pimm's because it's it's really hot outside. So I thought, why the devil not? And I have to say, it's awfully nice. Hi, Rob. Good to hear from you. And Tom, is that? Oh, good to see you, Tom. Tom, I've just seen your message flash through. Yes, I do teach, and I even teach when the world is going insane, because I teach on Skype as well. And Lou Heap, oh, one of my favourite people. Lou, lovely to see you. Oh, thank you so much, you all, for joining me. These live streams are very much helping to keep me sane, which is a no mean feat. So I do really appreciate all your support. And as I say, I will kick off in a minute or two, but I'll just give a few more people a few minutes to arrive. And I've got my laptop here so I can keep an eye on the comments. So thanks for telling me you're here and all that sort of thing. And the first tune is going to be a tune called The Vaults, and I'll dedicate this one to Tom as he's online, because Tom is a regular of the wonderful Market Vaults in Stafford, which is the pub where I began gigging, and that remains a very important place to me, and I usually play it every Christmas, not Christmas Day, but like just before Christmas, and I really hope that I get to do that this year. Time will tell. But I've written a couple of tunes over the years named after the pub or about the pub, and this is one of them. And as I say, it's called The Vault, so it's a reel with some original variations afterwards, which are quite tricky, if I'm honest. But we'll see what happens. I miss The Vaults too, Tom. It is a wonderful establishment, and hats off to Ben, who took it over. Don't know God, when was that? A little while ago. And rescued it, because previously it had been slightly destroyed by a plank, but he's long since gone happily. Anyway, just letting you in on the Stafford gossip there, any of you not from Stafford. Righto, well I think we're about ready to go now, so I'm going to kick off and play a tune called The Vaults. Here we go. don't often get to play that note. It's the very highest note on the banjo, actually. It's right before it goes like that. Thank you very much indeed. That was a tune called The Waltz, and oh, there's quite a few here. Very nice to see you all. And I'm just going to scroll down to where the comments are, because I've managed to... Oh, good lordy, I've got a comment. Is that Italian? So I can see the translation. Hang on, let me have a quick look at the translation. Hi Tim, good to see you. Virtually. See translation. I recognise the word banjo. That's the only one I recognise. And the translation didn't work now. Come on, show me the translation. No, that's not going to do that. Oh well, never mind. Hopefully that was complimentary. To be honest, you could have said anything there, and I wouldn't actually know. But thank you very much indeed for joining me. Anyway, Federico, what a great name as well. Amazing. Righto, I'm going to carry on with a song called "Want What You Don't Have," and this is basically is inspired by a lot of the conversations I've had with people over the years, particularly before I started driving. I used to tour quite a lot on trains and stuff, which generally meant you arrived in towns far too early, and I would generally sit in the pub and talk to people, and I'd walk in with instruments, and that's often a bit of a conversation piece. And I suppose the conversation went along the lines of, you know, I'd mentioned that I was a musician, and they would say how lucky I was to be a musician and how amazing it must be, and I would say in return that you set the banjo on fire. Oh, nice. Thank you very much. And my response would be, well, yes, but you get a wage packet, and that must be quite nice as well. And it, you know, we'd have a bit of back and forth, and eventually conclude that there's probably just good and bad things to every job that there is. So that's what this song's about. This is called "Want What You Don't Have." You're travelling down a road that promises no lights, that just sends you away into the night. But don't follow your doubts, 'cause once you're pulled out, then you'll only know the way out of sight. Want what you don't have, and envy what you see. What you think you want doesn't always work for me. Everybody envies someone else's way to be. And you might think you're headed for a world where excitement never ends. It makes you think the real world suspense. But this is not a dream. Moments make it seem like your work is your only best friend. But the time will come when you can't pretend. Want what you don't have, and envy what you see. But what you think you want doesn't always work for me. Everybody envies someone else's way to be. We can agree. We are chasing paths that are closed till further notice. Not too late to stop the roots, so this is going to be our way to combine the roads that brought us here today. I used to think by this time I would feel that I had laid the ground, but I sometimes feel I never made a sound. But never mind the age, we both turn the same page, and there's no one way that anyone is found. this work for me. Everybody envies someone else's way to be. On this we can agree. Thank you very much. Want what you don't have. And good evening to Dennis, legend from Stafford, as is Ben. Good to see you too, Ben. And Todd from East Idaho. Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining. God, we've got an international audience tonight. This is very nice. Well, I'm going to carry on with a tune of mine. Basically makes use of the banjo as a percussive kind of tool. Because you may have noticed that I quite often I do a lot of hitting the banjo. Many people have the same urge. But basically, as far as I'm concerned, the banjo is really a drum with some strings on it. So it makes sense to me to make a fair bit of hitting the banjo. So this next tune very much does that. This is called Funky Haystack. Oh, and John Quilliam as well. Good to see you, man. Oh, legend. A few legends of Stafford alongside people from Italy and America. This is lovely, isn't it? Facebook has its good point. This is called Funky Haystack. Hi Quinn, how you doing? Oh, another American. Nice to see you. It's my banjo student from California. The wonders of the internet. Oh, and you like Funky Haystack, don't you? Oh, well, this one's for you. This one's for you. Here we go. funky Haystack for you there. And well funky, Dan. Oh, One Nation Under a Jig. Nice, thank you very much, John. Thank you. I think I saw Adam Ogle there as well from New Zealand. I'm assuming you're in New Zealand. Really, well, this is quite an international audience. Thank you so much to you all for joining me this evening. It's nice to know I can still perform. That sounds wrong, doesn't it? Anyway, you know what I mean. So I'm going to carry on with, if that was quite a new tune, I'm going to carry on with two very, very old tunes. Traditional tunes from Ireland. And part of the point of this album was to record a few more trad Irish sort of things. So there's a few of those on here. And basically, when I was at university in Newcastle, studying folk music, would you believe? One of the lecturers was a guy called Desi Wilkinson, a fantastic, amazing flute player from Ireland, and he was in a trio called Cran, who you must check out. Amazing, amazing band. But Desi said to me, "I've never heard anyone play Irish polkas at clawhammer banjo style. I want you to be the first." And he gave me this book of polkas, so I learned a few of those, and these two I particularly liked. And imaginatively, they are called Glen Cottage No. 1 and Glen Cottage No. 2. And the medley is called Glen Cottage. Once you've got the banjo in tune, of course. Like I said, Tom, just make sure you buy a banjo that you can tune and you'll be fine. This is called Glen Cottage. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Cottage, and I'm going to carry on a similarly traditional vein. God, that Pims was good. On a similarly traditional vein, I'm going to play you a song called The Suilin, which is a beautiful old Irish song. And I've actually had a few requests for this during my live streaming career, and Tom was kind enough to mention it earlier in a post as well, so I'm delighted to do it. And this is a very, very, very old Irish song, which I heard on a documentary on the TV about Irish music many moons ago, many moons ago, just when I was a little toddler. And honestly, I've been in love with the song ever since. And it was a documentary about the Saw Doctors, the Irish band the Saw Doctors, and in the footage it was in a pub in the west of Ireland, and one of the guys in the Saw Doctors, his dad sang the song, and it was just achingly gorgeous. So I've always loved the song, and I thought I'd really like the chance to do it. A hello, by the way, to Mr. Dan Pavitt, who is my first cousin once removed, who I'm reliably informed is watching, and has several embarrassing stories about when I was a toddler, but thankfully he's not on Facebook, so he's not going to put them in the comments. Are you, Dan? Good. Thank you very much. Thanks for all the applause. Sorry, I'm having a hard time reading the comments. Perhaps I'll go for a drive later, just check my eyes and stuff. But anyway, this is called the Suilin. Many rivers of Ireland are famed the world o'er, and now to that number I'll add just one more. It's a sweet little river I'll sing of to you. It's a stream called the Suilin that floats through Glen too. It's not a great river, it's just a small stream, and in faraway lands many times in my dreams I have seen the dear Suilin way over the blue, as it quietly meanders along by Glen too. In the days long ago, the itinerant class never paid a ransom for a feed for an ass. They just turned them out loose like they all used to do, and graze where the Suilin that floats through Glen too. There's fish in the Suilin and sharrogs galore, so why would you go all the way to Glenmore? You can catch all you want from Snipe Lodge to Glassroo, if you fish in the Suilin that floats through Glen too. Well, they say Suilin waters can banish all ills, so forget about spas and quack doctors and pills. Just strip off your clothes down the old loony room and bathe in the Suilin that floats through Glen too. There's a bridge across the river not far from the plan. I have sported and played there from boyhood to man. Many's the horse got to tow, and an ass-hard load too, has crossed over the Suilin that flows through Glen too. All around Glen too harbour there are many fair scenes to compare with the best in the silence so green. But all of that takes second place in my view to that stream called the Suilin that floats through Glen too. To that stream called the Suilin that floats through Glen too. Thank you very much. The Suilin there for you. Thanks so much for the comments. I've seen a few of them going past there. Chris, yeah, the Saw Doctor documentary is absolutely amazing. And yes, I remember them being on Top of the Pops. I was unbelievably excited because I was a fanatic fan when I was about 7. And I was watching Top of the Pops and I didn't know they were going to be on, and it was amazing. Thanks, Dimner. Oh, legendary Dimner, amazing whistle player living in Perth, Australia. Blimey, you're up late, aren't you? Christ. Anyway, thank you very much for staying up so late, Dinner. It's great to have you here, and thank you also to all of you. It's lots of lovely comments going in there. Someone said the Suilin's their favourite song on the album. Good, probably mine too, actually. So this one, oh Lord. So this is where live streaming versus normal gigs backfires ever so slightly, because I normally don't play this song when I tour America, but I know there are a few Americans watching, so I hope that this comes across in the spirit intended. So this is called Going to the USA. Now, I have toured the USA a few times. I absolutely love it, and I've had a brilliant time there, and I've got quite a few American students, and I've taught at the Banjo camps out there, and it is just fantastic, and I always have an amazing time. I wish to stress that very, very highly. However, getting a work visa for America is one of the most stressful experiences you can ever go through. And the very first time I went to America, which was 2015 or something like that, I discovered just what a complicated system it is. And unfortunately, I was rather unlucky in that at that exact time when I was applying for it, the American computer system thing basically had a big meltdown, and there was months and months and months of delay, so everybody was getting visas very late. So I was actually accepted, that was all fine, but it came through quite late. And right to the point where my tour was about to start, and I'll let the song, I don't want to tell too much of the story, because obviously the song will do that, hopefully. But basically you need a whole load of gumph to get your visa. You have to submit loads and loads of stuff, and yeah, it's a bit complicated. Basically, you have to submit loads of letters that say how good you are, and from other people. I mean, you don't just write them yourself, if only. It's also probably the first time ever that a degree in folk music ever came in useful to anybody, because the idea was to basically market the fact that I was different, because they want you to be culturally unique as a musician working in the States, whatever that may mean. And given that I'm a banjo player, and you have quite a few of those in America, that didn't exactly count in my favour, so I was drawing on the whole British folk music, folk degree from university thing. Anyway, there was all kinds of stuff, and it all happened rather late, and it was all a bit stressful, and I had to rebook flights, and it cost me a lot of money, and even more of my sanity. But anyway, this is called Going to the USA. Well, my first US tour is on, let's check the finer print. Cause it turns out you need a visa, and it's more complex than you think. If you turn up with an instrument but no visa, it's a sin. Not like Toronto when I winked at that girl and she just let me right in. How much danger can a guy with just a banjo bring to the people of the US of A? US, let me in. I only want to play some songs, I'm not into guns or bombs. US, let me in. I won't be earning much hard dosh, and then I'm straight back home for a cup of splosh. US, let me in. I love tea. That's what a cup of splosh is, just in case you're not sure. Well, first I need some letters on what's different about me. It's actually the first time ever that I've used my degree. A contract for a tips gig among the nonsense I must send. And as if all that wasn't bad enough, it takes them bloody months on end. 3 weeks to go and I still haven't got it, it's driving me round the bend. Cause I want to see the US of A. US, let me in. I only want to play some songs, I'm not into guns or bombs. US, let me in. I won't be earning much hard dosh, and then straight back home for a cup of splosh. US, let me in. Once finally approved, there's an interview. Quite why is anyone's guess? 'Cause if the US consulate says, are you a terrorist? I'm hardly going to say yes. It could be 600 quid on new flights, 'cause approval took so long. So I plead for mercy with my airline. Never had so much fun, but it turns out that everyone who works for them is an illegitimate son. But I'm going to the US of A. US, I got in. Not 15 gigs, but just the 10. And if you hear this song, probably never again. US, I got in. Well, thanks to you, I earned even less dosh, and you're not much cop on the cup of splosh. But US, I finally got in. Thank you very much. That was called Going to the USA, for which I'm sorry. So I'm going to carry on with some banjo, because you know I do that. What am I doing on banjo? Let's go. Oh lordy, right, yes. So I'm going to play you a set called 7/8, which is 2 tunes in the time signature of 7/8, and won't be long till this gets rewritten for Europe. Yes, it's very true. Oh Christ, yeah. My girlfriend, ladies and gentlemen. So, time signature of 7/8. So all that means is there are 7 quavers in a bar. So it goes 1 2 1 2 1 2 3, 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. Or if you need a little wordy thing, banjo banjo claw hammer, banjo banjo claw hammer, banjo banjo claw hammer, or something like that. So the idea behind these 2 tunes is the first tune, in my head at least, is reasonably typical. Prog banjo, exactly. That's a good way of putting it. So the first tune is sort of quite a typical Bulgarian 7/8 tune in my head. It has that sort of sound. Whereas the second tune was a deliberate sort of experiment where I wanted to write something that was in the time signature of 7/8, but sounded perhaps like an Irish tune might. So that's sort of the logic behind that. So it's a while since I played these actually. The first tune is called Newlyn Wind, because I wrote it when I was in Newlyn in Cornwall, rehearsing with the mighty Mr. John Dowling, amazing banjo player, and it was windy. And the second tune is called Nearly Home, because it's a long way back from Newlyn in Cornwall. So this is called 7/8. That was 7/8 with some slightly interesting variations in the first tune. Lee Ford as well. Oh, bless you. Good to see you, man. And the first tune quite mesmerising. Thank you very much indeed. And Chris, oh, thank you very much. Oh, your comments are really nice. Thank you very much. So, one thing that I didn't do a lot of on this album is the kind of yeehaw bluegrass end of things, but this next song is I couldn't do a whole album without a bit of bluegrass. So this song is very much in that sort of vein. This is called "Leave This Land." And I know one or two of you are watching from New Zealand. This was written in Auckland Airport in New Zealand when I was waiting to go home. And I never really want to go home when I've been to New Zealand, because why would you? Have you seen your Prime Minister? And have you seen ours? But anyway, I really enjoyed my time in New Zealand. So I was sitting in the airport not really wanting to go home. And then Emirates had a complete meltdown. And so I had like a 14-hour wait or something. So I sat there and drank a bit of whiskey and wrote this song. And then I got home and I looked at it with, sort of sober eyes. And it was crap. So I wrote a completely new song, which is the one you're about to hear. And it's called "Leave This Land." Hey John, how you doing? New Zealand misses me. Oh, thank you. I miss it too. Here we are. Oh, hey! Never felt this feeling before, despite all the times I've been away. I've always wanted to get back to my door, and many times I've counted down the days. But how can I leave here without a rueful tear? Didn't think I'd have a second home. Didn't think I'd feel this way today, in spite of all the places that I roam. There's not a long time to spend in a place, ways of stay can pass you by. But here it's not just the views that are there to face, the whole way of life you to try. Flying across the pond and some way feel upon, never felt the same as when I'm here. Didn't think I'd feel this way today, leaving almost fills me with a fear. But I don't wanna leave this land that looms over me with its sea and its sand. It's something I thought I would never understand. But I don't wanna leave this land. No, I don't wanna leave this land. Open times await me when I reach the journey's end. Love for life is strong remains unbent. But this moment it is hard pointless to pretend. Whiskey glass is filled up to the brim. Really I do know that it's time for me to go. During this long wait before I fly, didn't think I'd feel this way today. I look back as I head across the sky, and I don't wanna leave this land that looms over me with its sea and its sand. It's something I thought I would never understand. But I don't wanna leave this land. No, I don't wanna leave this land. There's not a long time to go to this fine place I've come to know, but it won't be too long till when I'll be back again. Didn't think I'd feel this way today, moving on till I'll be back again. And I don't wanna leave this land that looms over me with its sea and its sand. Something I thought I would never understand, but I don't wanna leave this land. It's something I thought I would never understand, but I don't wanna leave this land. No, I don't wanna leave this land. Thank you very much. Leave this land. Oh, it's tiring, that one, I tell you. So I'm going to do, that was quite a sort of fast frenetic one. This one's very much not. This is one of my slower tunes called the Chase Suite, which I very rarely perform live, partly because it's incredibly long and quite hard to remember. Well, not long, but there's quite a few different sections, and it's not very typical banjo stuff. So, but I've been practicing it up, so it'd be nice to perform it again. It's a bit of a mellow one for you this time. This is the Chase Suite. I suppose I better do the obligatory announcement as well. Obviously, while all this lockdown stuff is going on, I'm unable to gig live, and I don't know quite how long that'll be for, but it could be a while. And this is my replacement gigging, so if you do feel so inclined, there is a PayPal tip jar there which you can chuck in whatever you feel, and it would all be very, very much appreciated. This is the Chase Suite. Rob Oakey! Oh man, good to see you! Rob from PEI in Canada, one of my favourite spots. In fact, I was going to be going there next month, and it's really annoying that I can't. But greetings to anybody watching from PEI as well. This is the Chase Suite. you very much. That was called The Chase Suite, and I've got a couple more for you to round off, and then I'll perhaps do a bonus one if you want as well. You can request something if you like. But I'll do two more, the last two songs on the album. The first one's a bit of a bluesy number. This is called Out of Here, which I wrote after going to a thoroughly miserable pub in North Wales. This is not to say that all pubs in North Wales are miserable, but this particular one was. And one of those places where sort of, oh my god, someone's walked in who we don't know, that kind of place. And there was a real kind of almost terror that someone had walked in, because I think I was staying in a room up there when I was doing some work for Live Music Now, and I had both my instruments with me as well, so I obviously looked terrifying, clearly. So this is a song I wrote after that. This is called Out of Here. Tune from this album, and then that's the whole album. So I'm going to finish up with a set of tunes called the Banish set, which I play quite a lot. I sometimes tag on some other tunes to it, but I'll stick with the album version, this one. As I say, it's called the Banish set. Thank you so much for joining me. As I say, there is a PayPal tip jar there, and as I say, this is my means of gigging and trying to earn some money. So if you do feel so inclined, do chuck in what you feel. It's much appreciated. familiar with how these things work, I'll finish up with this, but I can probably do another one. But those of you who've been watching this by now, you'll know there's a little bit of a way of doing this, is you have to start requesting an encore just before the end of this, otherwise I don't see it in time. Because there's a little bit of a delay getting to my laptop, all the comments. So towards the end of this one, feel free to go more, and then I'll probably do another one. And it'll just be a bonus song that isn't on the album, so it can be more or less anything you like, within reason. So if you have a request, then you can stick it in the comments. You can even be like, you know, if you want something vaguely Irish or something vaguely bluegrass or whatever, you can even be as sort of broad as that. But anyway, this is the Banish set. Thank you very much. Here we are. Thank you very much. Oh, well, I did do the bonus tune on the end. Why not? I've seen quite a few requests